Hi, in this video I will talk more about the reliability and maintenance of this car behind me, the A5 3-liter TDI. The engine code CDUC with 245 horsepower and 500 Newton meters. So this will be from my experience with mechanics and also people who also had this car. The first thing you should definitely watch out for when buying a car with this engine is the timing chain rattle on the start. They usually occur around 200,000 kilometers plus. Sometimes when they're badly maintained even before, they usually sound like this. And you should definitely watch out for that. If it's longer than a second, I would say either buy it, but try to get it as cheap as possible and then fix it, or run away. It won't necessarily cause catastrophic engine damage, but it can. When the timing chain skips, it can cause literally terminal damage and you're fucked. Some other things to look at is injectors have to be resealed on this car every 50 to 100,000 kilometers because they just get very dirty. Every second or third fuel tank, go with the Shell V-Power diesel or RL Ultimate or whatever best possible diesel, the better one, the more expensive one you have. I think that's the way to go because that will definitely clean out the valves, the engine, and also clean the injectors. Something also you should check with this engine is clogged EGR or clogged DPF. How you can do this? Easily. When you test drive the car, when it gets up to temperature, floor it. And if it bogs down, or if you feel like it doesn't have enough power, or if it doesn't feel like those 245 PS is punching, then it's definitely possible that EGR or DPF is clogged. The only way to fix this is either a new DPF if the DPF is clogged, or to clean the DPF. Both methods are good. For EGR, you just have to buy a new one. Also, something very important, you really have to buy a new EGR cooler as well together with an EGR. Because if you replace one, the issue will still remain, while the cooler can still also be clogged, and then you can have the same issue and then the EGR will go kaboom again and you have to replace it again. So both parts need to be replaced at the same time. Also, intake manifold. When this gets done, for example, when you do the EGR together with the cooler, you should definitely clean the intake manifold because this can get really clogged with all the carbon and all the BS and the soot, and you should definitely clean that, and that will definitely improve the airflow of the engine and also its performance and also its efficiency. Typical issues with this CDUC platform, the second gen of this engine, is that they can leak oil and coolant. Usually, how is this fixed? Replacing the gaskets, all the spots where the oil or coolant is leaking. You just gotta do it. The way this is supposed to be done, I think, is when you're doing the timing chain job, because the engine has to get out, then everything is out. Then basically you reseal everything you need to reseal and you're good for another 200,000 kilometers. That's how I did it with my car. And I decided to do it properly with my mechanic who knows this stuff, knows these engines in and out. And he resealed basically everything you can reseal, replaced all that needs to be replacing, including the timing chain, and the car runs flawlessly, like basically runs like new. It's just insane how one major service can refurbish the engine and make it feel like it's 50,000 kilometers old, but it has 260 on the clock. Its performance is also really good, 260 kilometers an hour. I managed to do it, car didn't skip a beat, amazing. Doesn't consume oil, great. Control arms can be a bit tricky. They usually wear out after 150,000 kilometers. First the rubber seals go, the little gummy bushings, and usually at that point you should replace them all and you'll be set for another 150,000 kilometers. Shocks, yeah, 10 years or so. On mine they died as around 250 kilometers, so I decided to replace them with a coilover kit. One really important thing in the suspension of this car is the steering rack. It doesn't wear out prematurely, but due to some bad potholes you can really hit, they can wear out. And they're not an easy fix and they're not that cheap. But sometimes if you really hit a bad pothole and if you feel like the steering is a bit off or like not so smooth and a bit soft or something, please go check it, because it can happen that your steering rack is leaking, there's some dust coming in, and that may result in a premature failure. That happened with my A6 from 2010, the C6 platform. I hit a really nasty pothole and the steering rack, I didn't check it. I thought it was just, fine. But unfortunately after like 7 or 8 months, I was just driving normally and it died. I couldn't drive it anymore and I was fucked. And I had to replace it and it cost a lot of money. They're usually fine, they usually don't ever die, but when they do, it's not that cheap, it's expensive. I can tell you that. In this particular car, the DSG gearbox, it's a very good gearbox, 7-speed. It's the upgraded one to handle all the torque from this engine, and it just works beautiful. You have to service it every 60,000 kilometers, preferably a bit earlier, 50, and that includes oil changing and filter changing. Pretty simple. It's not that expensive, you can do it yourself if you're experienced. It will prolong the life of gearbox and the clutches, because it's a double clutch gearbox. One thing you should look out when buying a car is if the gearbox shifts very smoothly when you're slowly driving, when you're like just doing 10% of the throttle when the car is shifting. If it shifts late, or if you feel like it's a little bit clunky, then there is probably some wear on the clutches and they should be replaced soon rather than later. If it shifts very smooth, very early, you're fine, you have nothing to worry about. Preventatively change the oil if you're not sure if it was done, or the owner doesn't know if it has been done, and you'll be good. This car has still first set of its clutches, has 260 kilometers, and the gearbox shifts smoothly still. I have myself done the gearbox service, the oil and filter change. The gearbox is fine. Sometimes in the city, that's a usual bad point about the DSG, is that they can get clunky a little bit in the city. Like, not in a bad way that it's wear out, but just like sometimes they get confused what to do. And that's sometimes annoying. Those are some of the main points you should look into for the A4, 5, 6, 7 and even the 8 with this engine. They put this engine in all of their cars basically, except the A3 and A1. In my opinion, it's a really good engine. Generally, these engines are very, very reliable. They do easily 500,000 kilometers when you maintain them well, change the oil regularly. So that's it, guys. Hope you learned something. Hope this helped you in a search for a 3-liter engine. Hope you enjoyed. See you in the next one.